In this video, we'll be looking at how we can update a section without refreshing the page. So for each variant, we have an influencer review. So here you can see when we update the variant, we are updating this section. And this is all controlled by section rendering API. In this video, we'll be learning that how we can use the section rendering API to update the section without refreshing the page. So the first step is that whenever we change the variant, we want this URL with this variant ID also. So let's see, whenever we change the variant, we are logging this URL into the console. So you can see this ID is matching this ID. So whenever we change the variant, we are logging this URL into the console. So let's see how we did this. So here you can see, let's see the event listeners on this option right here. So first of all, we have to turn this off, and let's go to this input, and input do not have any of the event listeners. So we have to check its parent like variant radios, and here we can see we have event listener right here on the variant radios. And let's go from where this code is coming. So here you can see on variant change, this is the function which is responsible for changing the variant. This was the original code, so we added this line. We are dispatching a custom event, custom JavaScript event. So whenever the variant change, after all the updates, we are dispatching a new custom JavaScript event. Whenever this event is dispatched, we can listen by add event listener. So let's see, we can listen this event from anywhere into the theme. For example, let's see in the console, we can listen it into the console also. We can listen variant change, and on variant change, we can console log variant change. So let's change the variant, and here we can see we are now listening this variant change also in the console. So let's see from where it is coming. So we wrote this line just a few moments ago into the console. So now let's see how we are listening to render this URL into the code. You can write this code anywhere into the theme. So here we can see window.add event listener. We are listening to the variant change, and on the variant change, we are logging the URL. Okay, once we have the URL, we have to go to this URL and get the data of this variant. How we can do that? Let's see. In the code, we can set a section ID to the URL. So let's see, in the URL, we can append a section ID, product influencer. So let's see this section. I have already created this one. So product section, we will be getting the selected variant ID from this section. So let's see, and we have to make an AJAX request to this section by appending this section ID into the URL. Here you can see we are now fetching the influencer section using this URL. So the main part here is that we have to append section ID to the product influencer. So now let's see how the URL will look like. So now whenever we change the variant, we can see in the URL, we can see this ID 884, and this section ID is also appended to the URL as a query parameter. So we'll be making an AJAX request to this URL. We are using the fetch request, and after the request, we are using the DOM parser to parse this section. Then we can use the HTML of this section, like this HTML. We can use this HTML to whatever we want. So let's see what we get when we make an AJAX request to this URL. Here in the network, let's change the variant. We have an AJAX request to this section, product influencer, right here. So let's see the preview, and here you can see we are getting the ID in response. So we have 348 right here, and we are getting the same ID back from this section. So let's see, here we have this selected variant ID. So this selected variant ID, why we are getting this? Because we also have this variant ID into the URL. So let's try again by changing another variant. So let's see, this is the request with this product influencer section, and in the preview we can see we are getting the same section, same variant ID. In the response we can see we are getting this HTML structure. So whenever we make an AJAX request to a section through section rendering API, you can see it is by default wrapped into a div, and with the Shopify section class, and with an ID Shopify section and the name of section right here. So we can use this inner HTML to do whatever we want. So let's see, currently uh, we have created a div, you can see right here, with the UID, and we are getting that div and appending the inner HTML of influencer block into this section right here, influencer block section that we wrote about here. So let's see what results do we get. So here you can see we have that influencer block right here. Whenever we change the variant, this ID automatically changes. So these are just the basics of section rendering API. So we can do, this is very powerful thing, we can do whatever we want using this section rendering API. We can use any of the data from this selected variant and make any of the HTML structure to render the data right here. So let's see, if we want the title of the variant, we can also use that product dot selected variant dot title. We can use any of the HTML structure to get in the response of that AJAX request. So you can see whenever we change the variant, we are now getting the title of the variant into the AJAX request. So we can also render the meta fields of this variant into this section. So let's see, product meta fields with the namespace of custom. We will be getting all the meta fields with the namespace of custom in the form of JSON in response of this AJAX request. So let's see, whenever we change the variant, so if the variant has the meta field in the namespace of custom, we'll be getting that meta field into the response. So we can, this is very powerful thing. So we will be using this to render the meta fields into the AJAX response. Okay guys, let's see how we can achieve this result. Whenever we change the variant, we can see the influencer testimonial right here. So whenever we, if the variant do not have any of the influencer uh, testimonial, we are not rendering anything. So let's see how we achieved that. So first of all, we have to create the meta field in the variant. We are creating a custom influencer block as meta field, and we are setting meta object, and we have created a meta object as the name of influencer. So in the meta objects, right, let's see the influencer meta object. We are using the name, main image testimonial, and let's see, this is the main image, this is the testimonial, and this is coming from the accent color, the color of this mark, and we are using an image uh, to to show the influencer signatures. So let's see, the name, main image, testimonial, signature, and the accent color. So let's see in the product. If we go to variant, and in the variant meta fields, we can see this meta object right here. If we click right here in the meta object, so we can see now that we have name, main image, the testimonial, and signature, and the accent color. So uh, let's see how we are rendering this. In the previous example, we saw that we can render the meta fields in the namespace of custom. So we are getting now the influencer block, and we are getting the value of that meta field as influencer. So we are using this HTML structure to render the influencer block right here, the main image, the content, and the if the influencer has signature image, we are using the signature image. Otherwise we are using the influencer name, and we are using some styles to style that part right here. So you can see we have lots of power using section rendering API. So I hope this helps. If you have any question, please write down in the comment. I will try my best to answer that. Thank you.